Hi, Race, Crime, and Justice class. So I want to briefly, this is the week 6 welcome video, and yeah, we're getting close to the end. We have this week, we have next week, and then we're at week 8, which is the end. So we're getting close to the end. We're getting close to the wire. So, first and foremost, I want to apologize. I did fall a little bit behind in grading. I will be catching up with those literally over the next couple days, so you should see your grade be updated ideally by about Thursday of this week. You should see your grades updated. But so that's just me saying that first and foremost. I'm sorry I fell behind in grading. It's not on you, it's on me. But that being said, it is week 6. This week we're talking about race, prosecution, and punishment. So we're talking about the legal system. For those of you who've taken the criminal justice courses, you know that after you're arrested, there's a whole process and your quote-unquote punishment. And so we're going to look at that stuff. We're going to talk about that and how it relates to the racial disparities that we have been talking about this entire time. So that's the big thing that we're going to be covering this week. This week there's a discussion board due. There's also the outline for the Court of Public Opinion project. Now, I want to emphasize, in the week 6 folder, there are readings which are connected to the Innocence Project, the Equal Justice Initiative, the National Institute of Justice on Wrongful Convictions. So, we're talking about that kind of thing because it is important to understand and, talk about. But I also want to emphasize that on Blackboard, in week 6, there are two things. There's obviously our discussion board, but we have a Dropbox for the outline, and there's also another document called Court of Public Opinion Outline Sample. Okay? It is just a rough outline of what yours could look like or should look like. Some of you I've talked to and I've seen what you've been working on, and what you've done is good enough. If you and I have talked about your project and I've looked at it, you can submit that as your outline. You're good. If you haven't yet, that's where I'm going to say look at the example, get an idea of how it could look. It doesn't have to be super in-depth. It literally is a pretty straightforward, short overview so that now that we know your topic, we can make sure that things are, the way that should be. So that's what's due this week. I encourage you, as always, if you have questions, reach out to me. If not, I'll see you in the lecture video. But hang in there. It's week 6. You got this.